Denzel Too Sharp Bentley, the former two-time British middleweight champion. How are you?
I'm good, man. I'm good, thanks, man. How are you?
I'm alright. How's life?
Life's good. Life's amazing. I'm enjoying life right now.
You've had a son now as well.
Yeah. Baby boy, getting big.
This is a whole new, because I remember you from back in the old Peacock, where
Yeah.
you'd be like in the background of Daniel Dubois
Yeah.
videos. You weren't a signed fighter at that time.
Yeah.
We've seen your sort of your whole career now, and now you're a dad. It's all changed, Denzel.
Yeah, it's mad. You lot have just kind of watched me grow, innit?
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy. Probably know me better than I know myself right now.
What's that been like becoming a dad though?
It's enjoyable, man. I find it funny. Like, even when he cries, I just start laughing. I'm just like, what are you crying for? Like, do you know what I mean? Obviously, I know that's the only way of communicating, but it's like, then the cry gets louder, and it's like, all right, go back to your mum. Like, you probably want some food, but it's good, man. I'm enjoying it. He changes every day, like the faces he makes, his laugh, like hearing him laugh the first time and getting him to laugh and like kind of figuring out what he likes, what he don't like. Does he like a bit of rough play? Is he more gentle? And yeah, it's nice. I'm enjoying the journey so far. I want to get to the point where he can walk and I can just trip him up when he's running about.
Has it changed you? That's what normally guys say. They've had a son. Oh, it's changed me. He's all that matters. That kind of thing. Is that?
I don't know, but I don't know if it's changed me. I'm the type of person where it's like I give a lot of myself to my family anyway. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a selfish person. So it's like, but like now, like everything that I used to give to people, like it's just going to my son more. Like it's like now, like my son needs me more now, and obviously he's the most vulnerable out of everyone. Like everyone's old enough to do their thing, but so I don't think it's changed me. I think I'm the same. It's just been redirected. Like how I am, my personality and my energy has just been redirected to my son instead of like other people in my family.
What do you want him to, let's say 10 years from now, or 11 years from now, when he starts secondary school, right?
Yeah.
And he's year 7, what do you want him to say about his dad? When he gets asked, what's your dad like? What does he do? What do you want him to say?
I've never actually thought that far, but I don't know, man. Just that I've done the best that I can for him, or he appreciates what I've done for him. He probably won't at that age because no one does. Everyone thinks their parents are annoying at that age, but just as long as he loves me and he knows that I'm there for him, and like whatever he wants, I got him. I'll be happy. I'll be happy, but I'm not quite sure what I wanted to say about him yet.
What do you want people to say about you? Let's say 10, 11 years from now, you'll probably be retired, right? You'll be 39, 40 years old.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy. Yeah. I'm retired.
I mean, what do you want people to say about Denzel Bentley's career?
Yeah, career-wise, just that I never turned down a challenge. I always put on a good show. I always delivered. Never shied away from a fight. And I was a good fighter, innit? Hopefully I'm a world champion too, but I was a good fighter, and everyone appreciated my career.
Are you proud of like the route that you've taken in terms of? I think you've become quite known for someone who doesn't back down from anyone, doesn't duck, doesn't swerve, isn't saying, no, this ain't the right time for that fight. I don't think I've ever heard you say anything like that. Are you proud of the route that you've taken?
That's an interesting question. I think sometimes I'm like, oh, geez, I just took another L. I could have just swerved that. I didn't need to. But then it's like, that's just not me. I would actually feel a type of way if I ever said I'm not ready for that fight, or nah, I don't want this fight. Like, it would hurt me to say that for myself. So I guess I'm proud of staying true to like who I am and what I want to do. I mean, a lot of people make careers of just building their profile, going out there looking like the guy, and then when they take a loss, it's like they just go missing and they don't know what to do themselves because it was that narrative they put out now doesn't exist. But I've just always been honest. I've always been true to myself, and whenever Martin tells me this fight is there, I say yes, especially if it's at middleweight and whatever. So, yeah, I'm all right. I guess you can say I am proud of the route I've taken.
Well, I introed you at the start of this interview as the former two-time British middleweight champion. So when you're hearing that, how does that sound to you? Is that something like, oh, I'm proud I've done that? Or is it like, oh, that's...
Yeah, it's annoying because I'm not formal because I vacated and I'm moving on. I'm formal because I lost it. So it's annoying because it's like, got beat. But it's like, I've done it, innit? I was just talking to Welch, was downstairs in the gym, and he was just talking. He's like, look, you're in the history books. And I'm like, you know what, you're right. My brother says that to me all the time, like, you made history, like, people say that to me, but when you're living it, you don't quite not that you don't understand, but you don't quite appreciate it because I'm living it. This is what I do every day, and I haven't reached where I want to reach. So you kind of take it for granted. But if I took a step back and looked at my career, I wouldn't say it's a bad career. I mean, some fighters, you know, box all their life to get a British title shot, and they don't get one. I've had 2 shots, and I've had 2 shots at the British title, and fought for it, either defended it or fought for it like 6 times in total, I think. So, I mean, I guess I'm fortunate enough to do that, but that's just because of the type of fighter I am, and you know, the fights I'm willing to take.
Well, the last fight was Nathan Heaney.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, have you watched it back?
Nah, because I don't feel like I need to. I don't feel like there's anything I'm gonna watch in that fight and be like, I need to work on this, or I could have done this better, because I just know that wasn't me. That wasn't Denzel. Like, if I had boxed to my absolute best and felt my best, and something was wrong, I'd watch it and be like, what can I do to improve? I just know that mentally I wasn't there in that fight, but that's not something you come out after and start making excuses. Like, you enjoy your win, and I just got to prove myself in my next fight.
But you're not the first to have said that after a loss. Particularly, I remember Anthony Yard after his loss to Lyndon Arthur. Mentally, he wasn't there. That's what he kept saying. I just wasn't there. And obviously, he had a lot going on heading into that fight. Mm-hmm. You haven't gone public with the stuff that you had on going into that fight as well. But I understand that where you're saying mentally you weren't there. So does it feel like a loss?
It does, because I'm reminded of it every day, but it doesn't because of, you know, life itself, like what I've got to enjoy in life, like my son and that is life. Whatever, there's more to boxing. This is a sport. You compete, you win or lose, and you move on. Like, I've just kind of, you know, accepted that sport isn't life. Like, it is life, but it's not life. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, boxing is my life. Like, I come in every day, this is what I do, and I love it and I enjoy it. But when I step out of the gym or I step out of a boxing environment, there's still life to live. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I'm enjoying right now. So I don't feel like I've lost in the sense of that weren't me. He didn't beat Denzel. He beat a part of Denzel that turned up. I just fought one way for the whole fight. Didn't even realise. And what you said about Anthony Yard, like, I was talking to Tunde and I was like, I get what you were saying now when he said the final bell went and he was like, what, it's done. That's exactly how I felt.
Did it go quick?
Yeah, mad. Like, it was just a blur. Like, 12 rounds came and I was like, I don't even remember going through the gears. I don't remember going through the gears, stepping off. I got tired. I just fought one way the whole way. And then I started looking at everyone in the ring. I think I looked at you and I was like, and then you made a face and I was like, oh, that don't look good. I don't even know what just happened, but
never look at my face.
Yeah, it looks like I didn't get the decision here, but I hope I did. But I just didn't know what was going on, if I'm being completely honest with you.
But boxing's a weird one where, like in any other sport, like Man United lose, right, fine. They'll play again next week, they're fine. In boxing, you might have to sit on a loss for like 4 or 5 months, and you're doing an interview with some idiot that's come in the gym who looks a bit like me, and all they ask you about is how did your last fight? Oh, you lost, and you have to do this for like so many interviews. It must be quite tough.
Yeah, and that's why I just don't bother explaining anything in interviews, because it's like everyone's gonna want the story now, and hear what's going on. It's just like, look, it was a bad day in the office, head weren't there, problems indoors, or not problems, but you know, life happens. Life is changing, you got to accept it, but you're still trying to fight mentally. But it's just like, you go out there and say that in every interview, it's like every platform wants to hear the story. So it's like, look, I just took the loss, let me get back. But then obviously there's exceptions for like certain interviews that, okay, this might get a wider reach, so you only got to say it once. But at the same time, it's like, I don't feel comfortable making excuses anyway. I don't like making excuses. Like, I got in the ring 100%. If I'm telling you I wasn't 100%, I've sold you a dream, innit? I really lied to the fans, you know what I'm saying? And
you wouldn't be the first.
Yeah, I know, I wouldn't be the first, but it's like,
you don't want to take away from Heaney as well.
Yeah, I don't want to take away from him, innit? You've done his thing. Look, that was his lifelong dream to win, and now he's not far off getting a world title shot. That's crazy. Who would have thought that? It's just annoying, like I was saying to you in the press conference, isn't it? Like, it's off the back of me. I didn't want it to be the back of me. I hope he does well, but not off the back of me. But look, that's the way God planned things to happen, and I just got to accept it and move on and hope and pray that, you know, I get my chance again.
So there's a couple of things there. There's obviously God's plan kind of thing. You believe in that and everything for a reason.
Yeah.
But also the idea that you said before about boxing not defining you. There is life outside of boxing. Whereas you may have taken a loss in boxing, you haven't lost in life. You've just had a son. Things are on the up. So that all sort of helps you. Yeah,
no, 100%. I mean, that's the one thing that made it easier. I mean, like, after that I got the ring, I was like, oh my, like, after I weighed in, I couldn't wait to get home. I was just like, knock him out and go home. after I lost, I didn't want to go home. I'm like, oh, I can't be asked to go home, but I'm going to go back to the end, or to the area I'm from. Everyone's going to ask, oh yeah, what happened? Speak to everyone. I'm like, can't be asked. But then I got home, went up to see my son, and it was just like, you can't be upset. Like, I couldn't be upset. Like, my son's there, like, he's just chilling. He don't know what's going on. He don't know. He's not there. He doesn't care. I lost. He doesn't even know what I do for a living.
He wasn't asking you about your strategy and all that.
Yeah, he wasn't asking, oh, Dad, what happened? He's just there, laughing or crying or making faces or just being hopeless. Just on the bed, he can't roll nothing. You just pick him up and hold him. What am I gonna do? Like, just start crying. I'm enjoying the minute. I'm smiling, so I'm just spending some time with him. I wasn't really on social media or anything. Just spending time getting to know my boy because I missed out on obviously a bit of his 3 weeks of his life, but that's a lot because he was just born. But like, in chilling, enjoying him, and then I think I started getting a bit more comfortable when I came back to Saudi. I was like, I'm outside. Everyone's asking, okay, I've done it now. Everyone's asked, okay, whatever. No interview with Queensberry, and okay, I'm back now. But I'm in a better place because I was just with my son for however many weeks. Now I'm just here in the boxing environment, supporting Ellis. But that reminded me that I just lost. Where like in my mind it was like, it's gone. I forgot about it. I get back into boxing. Oh yeah, I did this, isn't it? Jeez, but I'm not even angry about it no more.
Listen, final one on Heaney. It looked to me, and look, I might be completely wrong. I might have read the whole thing wrong.
Yeah.
It looked to me like you thought you were just going to knock him out, and then you just ran out of rounds, and suddenly it's round 8, round 9, and you're like, oh, he's still there, and I haven't knocked him out, and he's sort of winning those rounds.
Yeah, it was a weird one because in camp I was like, I'm gonna draw him on to knock him out. I'm gonna draw him in to knock him out, and obviously last 4 weeks of camps just all went kind of tits up outside the gym, and it's like, okay, cool, just get through it then, get through it. Then I just started telling myself, he can't beat me on my bad day, so I'm all right. Like, he can't beat me he's not good enough to beat me on my bad day. And that's the kind of mindset I went in the fight with. I set the wrong mindset for myself. I'm like, he can't beat me on my bad day, because it's just mentally I just weren't there. I weren't in the gym. I was just like, he can't beat me on my bad day. Like, this is Heaney. Like, come on, man. Like, I'll land on him, I'll hurt him. So I thought, cool. And then obviously the press conference is coming. I'm there, and I'm just like, oh, I don't really want to be here, but I'm here. But I'm trying to convince myself I'm beating him up. And then when I went in the fight, I thought like, I just want to beat him up instead of boxing him and stepping out and using my jab and making him miss and countering him and making him fall in and catching him in shots. I just kept going forward, and I just thought to myself, I'm going to land at some point, bro. Like, I'm hurting him, his face is bust up. There's no way he can take these shots. But he just proved to be tougher than I expected him to be. The thing is, I knew he was tough, but he was tougher than I expected him to be, because I kept saying, like, he's a tough guy. But when I started hitting him and I see his face busting up, I'm like, it's only a matter of time. He ain't going to be able to take this. But his motivation and his will was not letting him go down. Like, this is the time of his life, fighting for the British title. He knows he ain't getting a chance again. The crowd are, you know what I'm saying, bringing him on. And he's just thinking, just don't go down. You know what I mean? And I'm just thinking, I'm going to get you in a bit. Walking forward. Before you know it, the fight's done, and then I ain't put him over. I'm like, all right, so how was that, guys? And I looked at you like I said, and it was like, maybe I lost this. It's life, innit? What can you do? I'm happy for him, man. He's doing his thing.
100%. Listen, the next one, Danny Dignam. So the comeback. The first thing that kind of, because I saw Danny Dignam in the gym the other day. He was in the eye box. I got a couple of minutes with him. What stood out to me was he said to me that really, if I lose this is probably the end for me, and I'm not ready to retire. So you're coming against a guy who, once again, has got all the motivation in the world, because he's not ready to retire, and he's got you in front of him. So you're going to have a very motivated southpaw Danny Dignam.
I'm getting all these guys that are just mad motivated. That's so crazy, man. I'm getting the best version of everyone, isn't it?
Sounds like it.
But that's good, man. That means he's going to make for a good fight. And look, even if he does lose, I don't think he should retire. I think he's a good fighter. But of course, his position and where he is, and he's not signed to anyone, it'll be hard for him to, you know, get fights and get back in position and stuff. But I think he's a good fighter. I mean, I don't really like it when fighters talk about, I'm going to retire if I don't this and that, because I think they're putting that kind of pressure or doubt on themselves, like, I have to do it, and it might end up worse than they imagine. But
could that be a help or a hindrance? Because I know there's the idea
I don't know. It depends on what motivates him, innit? Depends what motivates him. If stuff like that motivates him, then he'd be dangerous. But if in his mind he's already saying it as a thing where it's like, oh, I was going to retire anyway, so I just took this just in case, then he's not really coming in 100%, do you know what I mean? So I don't really know. I mean, look, I've known Danny a long time, but I don't really know what kind of mindset he's carrying right now. He's with a new trainer, might have found a new lease of life, but I mean, talking like that, it doesn't show me that he's really enjoying his boxing. Because why would he have to retire if he loses to me? I just don't understand. I mean, I could have said about Heaney. Where do I go with losing to Heaney? Like, everyone in boxing feels like he's the worst in the division, like, technically, at this point. I mean, he's proved himself that he can win big fights, but, like, everyone felt like, technically, he's the worst in the division. You're meant to walk through him, and then I go and lose. Where do I go? I could say, nah, listen, there's no route for me. I'm done. But I didn't say that. I got another fight. Luckily, I got, obviously, Martin and Frank behind me, so, you know, they're going to push for me and they believe in my talent, so they got me another fight with Dignam, where I'm headlining again, so I'm honoured. So it's not a matter of retiring or anything, it's just a matter of not giving up, like resilience. That there's guys that's taken losses and that they shouldn't have taken and moved on. Like I always say, like Leigh Wood, who thought he was going to be a world champion. He lost to, did he lose to Jazza Dickens? Yeah. Or one of them, or he lost in that golden contract tournament, and it was like, oh, you're British level at best, you just lost to this guy, and then he just goes out there and he's a world champion and he's beating Mick Conlon and Lara and all these guys, and then you get the guy, Chris is my guy, I love him to death, but you get the guy that fought Chris the other day. Mm-hmm. He had 10 losses, but he just kept going.
Ashley,
he could have retired 5 losses ago. He kept going and now he's British champion. So I don't see why he should feel like he needs to retire after, but listen, that's his decision, that has nothing to do with me, man.
So that's his mindset, right? So that you can't quite put your finger on yet with the things that he's said, but I've told you that he said. What's your mindset heading into this then?
I just got to go in there and beat him up. Big statement win, and then just continue my career. Yeah.
Must win?
Every fight's a must win, man. Every fight's a must win.
But this feels like a real must win.
Every fight's a must win, bro, because losing to Heaney set me back. I'm here, I should have been in bigger fights. Like we had discussions of bigger fights, and now I've been set back. So if this fight I don't win, I'm set back again. So every fight's a must win. No one wants to lose. And remember, this is a sport where we're fighting. It's boxing, we're fighting each other. Nobody wants to get beat up. Like in school, you're fighting in school, and you're in a fight, and everyone's gathered around like, ooh, fight. You don't want to get beat up. It's a must win. You want to go out there, beat him up, and you're in school the next day like, yeah, I just punched up my man. Yeah. It's the same thing with boxing. Nobody wants to get beat up. So every fight's a must win, man. I'm not even taking it as, this isn't any more or less of a must win than my last fight or the fight before, or the next fight. Do you know what I mean? Everything's a must win.
It's a proper fight as well, though. You've talked about, I saw first thing you put up on Instagram was, I don't want any tune-ups. This isn't that. He's only lost to Janibek.
Yeah, 100%. I told Martin, don't even bother getting me in a 8-rounder or 6-rounder. I'd rather not box.
Would you really? Do you mean that? You'd rather
100%.
not box at all?
Bro, this is too hard, man. This being in the gym every day, traveling to the gym every day. I'm saying I've got a young family I can spend time with. Like I've got things I can do. But I love boxing. I enjoy it. But I want to be in competition. I want to be in competitive fights. That's what gets me up. I want to compete. If I'm in a 6 or 8 round, I'm not competing. I'm like, you're bringing me a body to just showcase my skills, and can't be asked to do that. If you put me in an 8 rounder and knock someone out in 1 round, what good is that? And what am I getting paid for that as well? Do you know what I'm saying? I'm not acting like I'm on big bucks, but what am I getting out of an 8 rounder? It just you're trying to use that as a confidence booster. I don't want a confidence booster. I don't need it. I'm not there. I'm not a child. You don't need to stroke my ego. Get me in a fight where it's competitive and I'm going to feel like this is worth my time. This boxing stuff is worth my time because I'm in competitive fights. I'm competing at a good level. I'm fighting these guys and I'm beating them. I'm winning titles and I'm moving forward. That's why I want to be in this. I don't want to be the guy that's always trying. I don't want to be the guy that, bring me back then. Let me get a little touch first. Let me get a little win and I'll go again. That doesn't excite me. I'll just be hitting the bags and thinking about, what am I going to do later? I don't want to be elsewhere. When I'm in the gym, I want to be in the gym. I don't want to be thinking about something else because, the fight I have on my hand is meant to be easy. I need a threat that's going to make me feel like, I better get on it and give it to this guy, otherwise I'm going to get beat up. I ain't trying to get beat up.
No one's trying to get beat up. And look, Danny Dignam, you've known since the start of his career. That's what he was saying. You've sparred countless rounds. He came up to the old Peacock, comes to this Peacock as well. So he said to me, he got the better of some of those rounds. You got the better of some of those rounds. Is that kind of an accurate reflection?
I mean, sparring is sparring, isn't it? Those days you come in, you feel better. Stage you come in, you don't feel better. We done so many rounds. I don't remember all of them. I do remember a lot of them. And yeah, some rounds he probably got the better. Some rounds I probably got the better. But that means nothing, mate. It don't mean anything. I mean, if he feels like because some rounds we had 2 years ago, he got the better, that is going to pay dividends in this fight, then like again, that's the wrong mindset. I mean,
No, he was very, very respectful. I'm just picking out one.
no, 100%.
Yeah.
I'm just saying in general, like, and I mean, early on in my career, like, you know, I was in the gym before I turned professional. I think he turned pro before me, but he's been boxing longer than me. So in the early days, he may have got the better of me, but you know, the more we went on, the more rounds we done, the better I got, the more I've been in boxing, I started to show my levels. But he's a good fighter, man. But remember, like this year now, this month, I've been boxing 10 years amateur, bro. I haven't been boxing a long time. First amateur fight at 19. Do you know what I mean? So, I mean, to be in this position with guys that were ABA champions and done all this and been boxing since they were 5, 6 years old, I think I ain't done too bad. Do you know what I mean? So, and for him to say that spars were him and a bit of me and all this, I mean, considering my experience in boxing and how long I've boxed for, I don't think that's too bad. But it should be a good fight regardless.
He says it's a 50-50 fight. Do you agree with that?
But it's wherever he wants it to be, man. It's the fight at the end of the day. I'm not really into all the this and that divisions or fractions or it's 50-50, 60-40.
This ain't maths, no.
It's just it's whoever turns up. It's whoever turns up, man. It's whoever turns up.
You turning up?
I'm turning up, man. 100%. I'm itching. I'm in a good place right now, man. I'm happy. I'm on it. I'm ready to start fighting again. It's not like I took years out, but I mean I'm ready to like be in a real fight.
Are we predicting a big knockout win for Denzel Bentley?
Always, man. Always, man. That's what I do. Even if I don't get it, I'm predicting it.